Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to our Monday night webinar. We are very excited to have our very own marketing and design manager, Lori Palomino, here to go over our Corefact. But I wanted to first just give you guys a little bit of housekeeping and just let you know about a free resource that I'm going to send out. If you're not on Corefact, I'm a regular user of Corefact. But they had a really cool little tip. They actually built 3 campaigns for you. So if you stay on the call for the entire 30 minutes, I'll tell you how to access those 3 little takeaways. It's I have a buyer, and it's some really good letters that have been, in essence, written for you. All you've got to do is build a flyer and get it out. So that kind of stuff is working really well when we're out there farming or trying to get sellers, to let them know that you have a buyer and that there's somebody interested in their home. So stay on for the entire 30 minutes. I'll let you know how to access that information. The other thing is if you have questions as Lori's talking, if you could just, again, to keep it, we've got more people that are jumping on here, to keep it moving along fairly quickly. We'd like you to just go ahead and send a message or a question in the chat. And we will have time to answer those questions, or Shannon can speak up for you if it's relevant to what Lori's talking about. So stay tuned. We are recording, and if you have other questions after, you need some more help, you'll be able to reach out to us and we can help you. But a really cool resource, and you know me, I like free. So some of this stuff is free and you just need to know how to access it. So with that, I'll turn it over to Lori. And then Shannon, if you could just kind of watch the chat, that would be great.
Hello, everyone. So tonight we are going to just go through how to make a single-sided simple flyer through Corefact. The great thing about Corefact compared to some of the other free resources out there is that we have signed up with them. We have an account where all of our colors and our logos are all preloaded for you. So if you go to bestchoice.corefact.com and you don't already have an account, you would just sign up for an account. It's really simple, email, name information. And then when you get your account set up, you're going to have all of the logos, or the 2, our primary logos, already loaded in here. So right now, this screen that I'm in is my account screen. So you can go through, and this just saves you time in the future when you're creating any sort of product through Corefact, have your name put in there, address. You can even put in your social media links, upload your headshot, but like I said, we've already got the logos loaded for you, so you're good to go on that. So assuming you have your account set up, when you want to build a flyer, you're just going to go over to the store. And I'm going to go down to flyers, and I'm just going to choose a single-sided portrait. So they have, as I'm scrolling down through here, you can see they have a lot of nice, just simple, modern, clean looking flyers. So let's see, I'm just going to just do the single-sided portrait modern bold. So once you click on that, you're into the flyer, and then you can actually start modifying it. They show you down here what their pricing is for printing. You can just kind of breeze through that for now. Just hit continue, and then you're going to name your whoops. You just name it whatever you want to, just so you know how to go back and find it when you want to access it again. So that brings you into the screen where you can actually build the flyer. So the one thing that you want to know about is up here in this corner, there is a lock and unlock. So when it's locked, it is kind of nice because you're not going to accidentally move anything around if you're not comfortable with manipulating the elements. But if you are, you can unlock them. So it just allows you to be able to move some of these blocks around and resize them. For now, we're going to keep it locked just so I can give you an idea of how to do it. But you can see down here, it already loaded with our Best Choice logo, my headshot, and my information. And I'll get to these little things at the bottom here once we figure out how to get in photos. But for now, I'm just going to click on the box, and I want to upload my photos. So assuming you've already got your photo link from your photographer, you have hopefully downloaded them on your computer where you can find them. That makes things a little easier. So you're just going to click upload, and we're going to browse for, let's see, the photos. So I've got my images here. So I'm just going to select all of them at once, and I'm going to open all of them. And they're just going to upload into the Corefact. So it happened to just, the first one is probably the first one I would have chosen. But if I want to, if you can see, when I click on these, you can see there's a little tiny dotted line around there. So that's how you know that's the box you're actually selecting. So if you want to, you can click up here where you see all the other photos loaded, and you can change that photo. Then I'm going to click on the second box, and I'm going to choose that one. So as you can see, you just click. It's very, very simple, very easy, and you can load all the photos. If you happen to want to edit a photo, you can go into the area. I would suggest always choosing cover, because that's going to make sure that the photo fills in. If you choose contain, it's basically just going to keep the proportions of your photo exactly the way it was uploaded. So you can see we're still going to have some space around here. So if you choose cover, it's basically just going to auto crop it for you, so you don't have to worry about that. I would rarely suggest that you stretch something. As you can see, if you stretch it, it's going to stretch a rectangular photo to the shape of the box. So again, cover is always going to be your best bet. You can mess around with any of the settings if you want to, but I would just I would suggest sticking with that. So the other kind of trick that I have when I'm building flyers to save time is that I always open up the actual listing in the MLS, so I can just copy and paste. A lot of people are busy, retyping, not so much fun. So I always basically just open the listing in the MLS, and I copy paste stuff back and forth. So I've got this listing that I'm going to do already open. So I'm just going to copy the address. And I'm going to, that's right, you type it up here. Sorry about that. I'm new to these. Type it up there. I can either bold it if I want to. I can change the font if I want a different font up in here. If you wanted to make it italic, you can change the size of it. You can change the color of it and the alignment. Let's say you want it justified one direction or the other. We're just going to keep it centered. And then I'm just going to hit done. So then you click on the next box, and up here is where you would type in, let's see, custom mill home. So I'm just going to select whatever I want my header to be. And I want that bold. I'm going to go and I'm going to choose that same font that I did, chose up there, and then I'm going to hit done. So you can kind of see how you can just edit each one of these different areas. So again, even with the marketing remarks, you can go through. If you don't want to retype everything, just copy it straight from the MLS, select that all, paste it in, hit done, and you've got the marketing remarks in there. Then you can also edit the type in here if you want to. So that's an option for you. Let's see, so we'll put in our price. We don't have a virtual tour on this one. We probably should, but we don't. Okay, so you can kind of see that that's basically, that's building a basic flyer. Now here's where this unlock button comes in handy. So down here, they've kind of preloaded it with icons that a lot of brokers may or may not use. We are not part of the Realtor Association, so specifically we want to take that one off. So I'm going to unlock that object lock up there, and I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to delete it. Maybe I don't recycle. I'm going to delete that too. So basically you can keep whatever icons you want. You can drag them. Once you've unlocked this template, then that's where you can move things around. So maybe you can see where I click on it and the little hand shows up. I want to lift that up a bit. Then I've decided, well, I want my logo to be a little bit bigger. So basically I just click on it and I can drag it larger.
Are there templates with bullets? Like I know maybe I want to do some bullets instead. Would that be a different template, Lori, or would I have to just
yeah, I would look through to see what all your template options are. I just chose a very simple one, but once you unlock it, you could add text. Okay. So you can see there's a text box down here that just got added that I just grabbed. So you could, you know, add some text into there, and you can see it's going to show up here, and then I'm going to just grab it and move it somewhere. So yes, if you're feeling like you're, you know, wanting to really change up the templates, you can do that as much as you want. That's probably a little more advanced editing within the templates, and they honestly have a lot of nice options. So you can probably find one that you wouldn't have to do that much editing to. That would be my best advice if you're trying to get something done quickly. But yes, this lock and unlock feature allows you to basically take any of the templates and change them to make them how you want. You can also just delete their copyright from Corefact down here. So, so sky's the limit as far as that, moving stuff around. So we're going to say that we're going to take that little box off of there. And so I'm pretty happy with what my flyer looks like at this point. So everything is locked back down. Now nothing can be edited at this point. And so from here, I would just continue. So you can do a couple different things. You could add, if you have, you can have them printed through Corefact. Their pricing, I think on that first screen, we could see, I want to say that if you're in the range of 25 to 50, you're probably around 70 plus cents for a single-sided copy. We're actually a little bit more reasonable in one of our offices. You can get single-sided full color prints for 50 cents a piece. So the cool thing that within Corefact is you can just download this PDF. You don't actually have to have them print it and ship it for you. So if you chose to go that route, you would just download it. And it's going to download it right down here.
So if I don't have a laser printer at my home, Lori would just make arrangements to pick it up at the office then?
Yep, you could either, if you want to talk to me, you can email it to me and I can forward it to the office where you want to have it printed. But Yan and Jenny and Tatiana are great at helping people out with printing flyers. So you could feel free to just email them directly and just say, hey, I'm going to email you my flyer. Please print me 50, however you want to do that. And then we just invoice you to your credit card on file, and you just come and pick them up. So it's really pretty simple. But it's really great that you have the option to download the PDF and either print from home, or if you have a Kinko's that you like to go to. So you can really think about utilizing their templates that they've already done the work and created for you. And you know, as you kind of go and you start to probably develop favorites, you're going to get faster and faster at creating them. So it's a great option for people to have. So one final thing I can say that you might want to go back and do is, obviously you want to make sure that you've read it over. And let's say you decide you want to go back and your client wants to change something. So you can actually go into your account and you're going to go into recently edited.
So this might be like if I have to edit the price or something, like the seller wants to change the price on me.
Exactly. Or you want to switch out some photos. You run it by your client and they say, oh, I'd rather use, you know, a different photo of the living room. You can basically just go back once you have your account set up. Everything you've ever done is going to be listed in this recently edited screen or ordered screen, and you're just going to click edit. and it's going to pull your flyer up, and then you can make any changes that you want.
Well, this makes it kind of fun when you can
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And so once you get the hang of doing flyers, they have all sorts of other, you can do, they have brochures, they have stationery, they have postcards. Once you get the hang of manipulating their templates, they're all going to be the same. So it's a matter of getting comfortable of uploading your photos, you know, making the small edits that you want to within the template. And with the postcards, you would definitely want them to send them out because they do have a great, you can just upload a list that you get from your title rep if you want to mail a just listed or just sold. That's a really great feature that they have, and pricing wise, they're right in there with anybody else to do those types of mailings. But yeah, I would suggest that you just kind of, you know, scoot around in all of the things that they have. They have a lot of free content as well. But building of flyers, very easy there, super simple. They do have two-sided flyers. So, I mean, really, they have anything that anybody could want. So that's pretty much it.
They're two-sided flyers. Is it easy to manipulate the template on that too? Is it like just there's more picture options on those?
Just more picture options and more options to put. So then you would just, yep, you would just choose this double-sided, hit continue. Just going to name it like you did the other one. And you're going to start out with the page 1 and page 2. Still going to autofill all of your information, going to autofill the logo. It's going to just automatically drop in the icons that they put on all of their flyers. But, you know, if you can unlock the template, then you can remove those. So yeah, it's just, they're honestly very quick, easy, very user-friendly. So, and like I said, once you've done a couple, you'll get the hang of it. And if you can copy and paste from your listing that you've already taken the time to input, then that's going to save you even more time. So
awesome. That is
pretty
great.
simple process.
Yeah, that was less than 15 minutes, I think, for you.
Yeah, and that's about how long it takes to build one if you're organized. But the key is being organized. I always say, you know, pick your pictures before you get to this point. You can, as long as you know where they're saved on your computer. I mean, some of these things can be done really quickly.
Perfect.
A couple questions, Lori, that some agents were messaging me about is, and one that I think is worth a mention. So, what are my options, and what are our agents' options if, for some reason, it's not hitting the limitations or it's too much work? What can they do if they're wanting to do something a little bit more customized, personalized?
Oh, for custom flyers, you just reach out direct to me. Generally speaking, if you can give me 24 hours notice, that's probably ideal depending upon what I've got going. But yeah, I've definitely have some custom designed flyers that I have no problem doing for people. You just send me the MLS number, send me your photos if you'd like to pick them. If you want me to pick them, I can do that for you. I just need the link to your photos. And we charge $35 for file setup, and you would get sent a PDF that's print ready, just like you would get from any sort of download, where you can print that from home, have us print it, have a printer print it. So it's generally the same type of thing, except for I'm just offering the full service of doing everything for you, and allows you to, yeah, if you really did want maybe some customizations that you couldn't find in one of the free templates you can find online, that's always an option.
And what are, Rochelle might want to pipe in. One of our agents is asking, it's like, to do or not to do a flyer box or a perma flyer. I mean, what are some of the trends that we're seeing right now for real estate agents and those types of print products to provide to their sellers? I mean, are we doing flyer boxes? Should we not do flyer boxes? What do you think?
I still see a lot of flyers. I think right now, because of the market, and Rochelle can agree or disagree with me, right now the perma flyers are not a real hot item, at least with our brokers. And I think that's because the turnaround time and the time you get one created and sent to you, oftentimes there's offers on the property already, and they're fairly costly product. They're good because obviously you don't have to replace the flyers in a box. But I think that right now out the door, you're looking at around $65 for a perma flyer, for us to put one together for you and ship it to you. And as soon as you could get it would be, they like to say 48 hours, but we can't always control their timeline. So I would account for 3 days actually, from the time you submit the request to getting it.
Yeah, and I think it was actually prior to COVID where the market started picking up. So the end of 2019, kind of Q3, Q4, and I stopped doing the perma just because my listings would sell so much more quickly. And to Lori's point, I was finding that the flyer value was to pick up additional buyers. So I kind of would work with the sign company. I think you have to pay an extra $5, $10 to have the actual flyer box installed with your signpost. And I was finding I was getting more clients, more buyers that were actually taking the flyer and calling me. And so it was almost like I was building the flyer to have more business if I was trying to farm an area. So think of flyers more as a takeaway for future business rather than
it's like a marketing piece that walks with you, because at least in my neighborhood, and especially now more than ever, you've got people walking around, walking their dogs, spending more time outside just to get some fresh air. And yes, they may be looky-loos, but they're still going to pick up a flyer that has your name on it. So I think it's great. I mean, I still like looking at flyers when I come across them. So I think that people do like them. So if you have a property that you think for whatever reason may be sitting for a while and you don't want to have the expense of or the effort of replacing flyers, and maybe a permit is a good way to go. Yeah. But I really think that in this market right now, it's an expense that is going to be, I mean, by the time you get it on the post, chances are you've probably got an offer. So that's at least what we've seen for now.
Great question.
And then one last one that just came through. So what if my photos don't look great, or they're vacant or things like that? They wouldn't look so great on a flyer. What are some options or tools that I can use to make them look better when it comes to flyers?
There's probably some free photo editing software that you can probably get that you might be able to bump up some contrast and do some cropping. But honestly, that's why we want people to get good photography, because there really isn't a lot you can do to make bad photos better if the photos themselves are not good quality. So I think that definitely is a challenge. I personally have never put together a flyer without photos. I think that if you only have a couple good ones, I would limit them. I wouldn't just fill up the flyer with bad photos. I mean, you could always, if you've at least got a good front image, use that and then add more content. But yeah, that would be the challenge. And that's the reason to hire a photographer, would be my opinion.
I think one thing to note as well, I mean, if you've got a vacant house, something to consider is if you're wanting to do some virtual staging, you can use a site that's called Box Brownie, BoxBrownie, and I'll put it in the chat as well so you guys can see it. But they charge per photo, and it could be a little bit, it can make some vacant houses look a little bit
yeah, and I actually have worked with quite a few properties where people have done that. They've got vacant homes, and so they do the virtual staging, and those pictures look amazing. They really do.
I believe
they definitely a good investment if the house is sitting empty.
I think it's only a few bucks too to lighten pictures up. So if you do have some dark ones, maybe you took, you
rainy day or something. Yeah.
They have a way to lighten some of it up. But as far as like trying to change the grass green or make an old roof look new, that stuff really shouldn't be done anyways.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note too, with this, most photographers they'll make those tweaks automatically. If they're a good photographer, a good reputable company, they will do some of those grass greener and removing wire lines and things like that. They'll do that as standard part of their package. So just make sure you're vetting your photographer very well.
But yeah, as far as the do-it-yourselfer, like there probably are some basic photo editing apps even that you could just maybe change the contrast or the coloring, you know, from drab to vivid, that type of thing. But that's really all you can probably expect to do on your own.
Anything else, Shannon?
No, those are all the questions that I've had come through.
Perfect. So yeah, I told you guys that we would do some free resources. So one of the cool things that Corefact has done for us is putting together some content on I Have a Buyer. So some of you are probably thinking, I need to really get out there into my neighborhood and let my neighbors know that I have buyers looking for maybe a property like theirs, or I've run in contact with somebody. So they actually built 3 letters that I sent to Lori. So if you want to send her an email, so again, you could probably put her on your speed dial, LORI at bestchoicerealtywa.com. I will have her send you the templates. There's 3 templates, and you can just basically, you could take that, you can build a flyer around it. I know I spoke with, I think it was Sarah Abiter, and she was really trying to market this neighborhood in Kirkland because her clients lost out on like 3 different properties. And she was so frustrated, and she thought, maybe I'll just go door knock. What a great way to kind of tell the story of her client. Maybe take some of the content that Lori can provide you and just build a flyer and go out door knocking and see if somebody has any interest in working with this particular buyer. You could tell them that, you know, they're conventional, 20% down, give a picture of them on the front of the flyer. It's almost like, here you go. I just need to have a willing seller who's willing to, you know, put something together. We'll save money. So you could probably build a flyer around this and actually practice what Lori is teaching today just by using our colors that are already on Corefact, and then they have the content that I've already sent her. So again, just send Lori an email. I know she'll probably get 20 or 30, but I made it easy for her. So tomorrow she'll send you some of the goodies from tonight's session. And if you want to play with your account, it could be very easily done in a flyer format. And then you have something very nice and professional with your logo, with your name and your contact information that you can leave at a potential seller's door. And that might just get our name out there, and we like the way it looks. Lori and I've spent time and money making sure that the colors are dialed in correctly with Corefact, and that they are a good partner. And we've had great success with the company in general. So
yeah, their customer service, just as a side note, they're very helpful. So if you ever got yourself where you just had a question about anything you're working on or how to check out, how to, you know, upload your mailing list, their customer service is very good. So I wouldn't hesitate. I would just reach out and give them a call, because they certainly, I mean, they want our business, so they're there to help us.
it's awesome. And they have plenty of different options for you guys. Some of the other top brokers have used postcards. They've used some of the door hangers. So we've had great success with many of their products. And this just makes it easier to be able to print a flyer or PDF something really easily that has our colors. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. And we're right at 6 o'clock. So thank you very much, Lori, for that.
Yeah. And if any of you guys have any questions about any custom design projects or really anything we've talked about, feel free to reach out to me. Either give me a call at the Sumner office, email me. I'm always happy to talk to somebody.
Okay. Awesome. Have a great night. We'll talk to you guys next Wednesday.